Forget Blackbeard and the legends of the Caribbean. There was one pirate commander who didn't just survive the world's greatest empires, she brought them to their knees and forced them to sign her terms. How did a woman from a floating brothel become the most successful pirate in human history, commanding a fleet that made the Emperor of China tremble? The morning mist over the Pearl River Delta in 1809 did not smell of salt alone. It carried the scent of sandalwood, cooking fires from thousands of junks, and the metallic tang of sharpened steel. For the sailors of the British East India Company and the desperate commanders of the Qing Imperial Navy, this mist was a shroud. Somewhere within it lurked a force that had done what the greatest empires on Earth could not. It had achieved absolute sovereignty over the waves. This was not the work of a rogue state or a recognized king. It was the dominion of a woman known to history as Ching Shih. To understand the magnitude of her power, one must first discard the image of the Caribbean pirate. While Edward Blackbeard Teach terrorized the Atlantic with perhaps 4 ships and a few hundred men, Ching Shih commanded the Red Flag Fleet, a juggernaut of 1,800 ships and an estimated 80,000 pirates. She didn't just raid ships, she governed the coastline, taxed the villages, and dictated terms to the Emperor of China. Her journey began not in a palace, but in a flower boat, a floating brothel in the city of Canton. In 1801, she was captured by Ching Shih, the commander of the Red Flag Fleet. Ching Shih was a man of ambition, but Ching Shih was a woman of vision. She agreed to marry him on one condition: she would be his equal partner, sharing half of his command and half of his spoils. For 6 years, they built a confederation of pirate fleets that paralyzed the South China Sea. But when Ching Shih perished in a typhoon off the coast of Vietnam in 1807, the empire they had built threatened to splinter. In the brutal world of piracy, a widow was usually discarded. Ching Shih had other plans. She moved with the precision of a grandmaster. She secured the loyalty of her late husband's most powerful commanders through a combination of political marriage, economic incentives, and a new, terrifyingly strict code of laws. The code was the secret to her success. It was draconian, yet remarkably progressive for its time. If a pirate gave an order that wasn't authorized by the high command, he was beheaded. If a pirate stole from the communal treasury or the villagers who paid protection money, he was beheaded. But it was the laws regarding women that were truly revolutionary. If a pirate took a female prisoner, he had to treat her with respect. If he chose to marry her, he had to remain faithful and care for her. If he raped a prisoner, he was executed. If he had consensual sex with a prisoner without permission, both were executed. Under this iron discipline, the Red Flag Fleet became a professional shadow state. They were so powerful that they began to view the Qing dynasty's navy as a mere nuisance. In 1808, the emperor sent a massive fleet to destroy her. Ching Shih didn't just defeat them, she captured 63 of their ships. When the imperial admiral, fearing the emperor's wrath more than the pirates, committed suicide, Ching Shih simply sent the surviving sailors back with a message: the sea belonged to her. The British and Portuguese, realizing their trade routes were being strangled, joined forces with the Chinese authorities. They cornered the Red Flag Fleet in the Battle of the Tiger's Mouth, a narrow strait leading to Canton. For 8 days, the combined might of 3 empires hammered at her ships with cannons and fire junks. The sky turned black with smoke, but the Red Flag Fleet held. Using the shallow waters and their superior knowledge of the currents, Ching Shih's captains maneuvered their heavy junks with the grace of predatory birds. The invincible coalition was forced to retreat, leaving the widow of the South China Sea more powerful than ever. However, Ching Shih was a realist. She knew that while she could win battles, She could not win a war of attrition against the world forever. The Qing government, desperate to end the humiliation, offered an amnesty in 1810. Most pirates in history ended their lives at the end of a rope or at the bottom of the ocean. Ching Shih decided she would be the exception. She walked directly into the office of the Governor-General of Canton, unarmed, accompanied only by the wives and children of her captains. It was a move of breathtaking audacity. She negotiated a deal that seemed more like a victory treaty than a surrender. The vast majority of her pirates were pardoned. Her second-in-command and later husband, Cheung Po Tsai, was given a high-ranking position in the very navy he had spent years fighting. And Ching Shih? She walked away with her vast wealth intact. She retired to Canton, where she opened a successful gambling house and managed a salt trade. She lived to the age of 69, passing away in 1844 as a respected grandmother and a wealthy businesswoman. In the long, blood-soaked history of piracy, she remains the only person to have challenged the world's superpowers, won, and lived to tell the tale. She proved that the most dangerous thing on the high seas wasn't a man with a cutlass, but a woman with a plan.